Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today I'm gonna talk to you guys about the exam description of the CCNA. It's gonna be I don't want to make it too long, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. Okay. So as you guys can see, this is the exam description, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna all go over the topics, right, that we have here, and I'm gonna be explaining you and telling you guys like what are the things that you need to focus on the most, and like what are some topics that you really need to take the time to practice and exercise. And I'm just also gonna tell you like how to practice these topics. Okay. So now, jumping right into it. Okay. So right here we have network fundamentals. Network fundamentals is gonna be very important for you to know because you really have to have a grasp and a great understanding of how everything, all the devices in the network are working, how they're connected to each other. Okay. So for example, routers, you need to know routers 100%. Okay, and again, I'm gonna one thing I forgot to say, I'm gonna give you just like some percentages of like how much you need to know about these topics. Okay, so again, with routers, you need to know everything around about routers. You need to know what routers do, how do they talk to each other. You need to know like what you don't really need to know the models, but if you know the models, some of the models, that's good too. You need to know pretty much everything about routers. Okay, now the second thing with layer 2 switches, layer 2 and layer 3 switches. So you need to know port security, you need to know MAC address tables, you need to know Ethernet channel, and so on. I'll be showing you here because it'll show. Okay, so these two things you need to know 100%. Okay, now next generation firewalls and IPS. What I would do, I would just like read some information on it and just make sure you understand it. Okay, so this you don't need to practice anything. Okay, now with access points, same thing. You just need to know like what access points are, where do you see them in the network, and that's about it. Okay. So we got that covered. Now controllers, Cisco DNA Center and the wireless LAN controller. These things, what you're gonna need to know is what their web applications look like. Okay. So basically, I'll show you guys. But basically, on Cisco on Packet Tracer, what you can do is you can actually launch your wireless LAN controller, and then you're gonna see, you're gonna have here some tabs for the wireless controller. You're gonna have here like security. You're gonna have here like QoS and some other features that I can't recall right now. But just basically like what the screen looks like. What are the options that you have below for each tab, and so on. Okay. Now endpoints, you just need to know what the endpoints are on a network, on a wireless network, and on a physical network. Um, yeah, you need to know endpoints. Now servers, same thing. You need to know what they are. You need to be able to tell me like what are some examples of servers. You need to know a little bit of virtualization. So hyper. You need to know a little bit of Hyper-V, a VMware, but not really that much. Okay. Now let's keep going here. Describe characteristics of network topology architecture, second tier. So just the topology architectures. So for example, second tier, you're just gonna have here your distribution devices, right? Which are gonna be mostly switches, right? And then these switches are gonna be connected to each other, and then this is gonna be, and then here you have your end devices. So here you're gonna have your printers, you're gonna have your computers, your phones, etc. Okay, so this topology right here, this would be a two-tier topology. Okay, because one, again, you have here distribution. If I can spell distribution, and then here you have your core. Not your core. Not your core. Your core will be over here at the top, and that will make it a three-tier, because here you will have your routers, and then that's where you connect So it's gonna be core, distribution, and access layer. There we go, access. All right, so let me go ahead and delete this for you. So then moving on, so spine leaf. Okay, so you need to know what a spine leaf architecture looks like. You just look some images on it. You just need to know what they look like. Okay, so plan one. One is gonna be just a few local area networks connected to each other. That makes this network a one topology, because here you have location A, location B, location C. Okay, let's see what else. On premises, a small office and home office Soho. So again, like, what is the network? What does the network look like in a Soho environment? Okay, on premises and on cloud. So on premises is just basically your physical servers that you have in the enterprise, you have in your company. And then what does the cloud infrastructure looks like? How, like, what does the cloud look like? Okay, like, just you just gotta know what, when you hear these terms, you automatically have to picture something in your head and be able to know what they look like. That's about it. Okay, so moving on, if I can to erase this, and hold on one second, I'm so sorry guys, I need to get rid of this. How do I free here? I'm just trying to scroll. Oh, there we go. Okay, so moving on, and then I go here. Okay, perfect. So physical interface and cabling types. Single mode, yes, you need to know the type of connectors that you're gonna have for these cables, right? So the RJ45. You have to, I would know, you just need to know, like, the speeds too. Then connections to Ethernet, shared media, and point to point. So you need to know, for example, like, if you had, for example, a switch, right, and you have here an end device. So this type of cable, what would it be? Would it be a crossover, or would it be a straight through? If you have here a router, this type of connection, this cable, what would it be? A crossover or straight through? You need to know these things, okay? Let's see, concepts of PoE. PoE is power over Ethernet. Okay, so with this, you just need to know the base. You just have to have a basic understanding of what power over Ethernet is. Okay, and all it is, it's just providing energy to these devices without the need of having, like, a plug. So, like, you can actually get power on your Ethernet cable, right? That's what you're on some switches, you're gonna see there a PoE port, and so yeah, that's what you're gonna use to connect power, to give power to the device. Okay, now identify interface and cable issues, collisions. Yeah, you have to know when would you see a collision in the network, what these errors look like, why or when would you see a mismatch duplex. Mismatch duplex usually happen when you have, like, different speeds on each end. So say you have here, like, a switch, and then here you have another switch, okay, and then on this end you have a gigaport connected, and then here you have a fast Ethernet, and gigabit is, of course, 1,000 megabits per second, okay, and Ethernet, fast Ethernet is just 100. So if you're gonna have a cable connected to each other like this, then you're gonna have a mismatch duplex, okay, and speeds. So that's that. Let's keep moving. All right, TCP and UDP. Okay, guys, this is gonna be 100% for sure. They're gonna ask you a lot of questions about this, okay, and this is good to know. This is really good to know. I just want to make sure that you guys can see my screen, because, but there we go. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry about that. So here you're gonna make a table. You're gonna put here TCP, UDP, PA. So you need to tell me what is TCP, okay? What is it? You need to tell me, okay, what are some protocols that TCP uses, okay? So you're gonna make a list so for example, TCP, let's see if I remember, TCP, it's going to be, well, so well, you just gotta make the list. Right now, it's hard for me to recall. I actually have on my notes here. So for example, it's gonna be HTTP. It's gonna be HTTPS. It's gonna be FTP. Here you're gonna have ICMP if I'm not mistaken. No, you're gonna have here DNS. You're gonna have here SNMP. You're gonna have here NTP. So you need to know all the protocols for each um, for each of these topics. Okay. Now moving on, guys, moving on. So yeah, same thing here, 100%. Subnetting. I told you guys in my last video. If you don't know subnetting for the test, you're gonna be screwed, because most of the questions, not most of the questions, but they're gonna test your subnetting skills. Okay, and I'm gonna teach you guys a really good way to understand subnetting. Very, very important. Okay, so describe the need for private. So also what you need to know is the ranges for public and private addresses. Okay, so keep that in mind. Configure and verify IPv6 addressings and prefix. Yes, you need to know this for sure, 100%. So again, the same thing. You need to know the ranges. You need to know like the unique. What does a unique as address look like? What does a link local address look like, and so on. Okay, that's what I'm saying. See, so link local, an anycast, a multicast, a global unicast. What do these addresses look like? Okay, and what do they mean? Okay, when would you use this type of IP addresses? Okay, so very important. Now moving on. Verify IP parameters for, okay, these you don't. What I would do is I would go on the command line, and I would find out what are the commands that I have to, run on the command prompt to show me the IP parameters. And what they mean by IP parameters, they mean, okay, so what is my IP address? What is my DNS server address? Right? What is my subnet mask? Right? Because as you guys know, knowing these things is very important, because it'll tell you, okay, so in what part of the network I'm living, okay, what subnet what network I belong to, okay, or my DHCP address to, who's giving me the who's providing me these DHCP settings, okay. So yeah, I will just do that for the macOS Linux. Okay, now describe wireless principles. See, non-overlapping. So yeah, you have to know the 2.4 hertz, right? And then you have 5 gigahertz. You need to know like what are the overlapping numbers. Okay, so you're gonna have like I believe it's like 4, 7, 11, I believe, and I'm sorry you cannot see that on my screen, but yeah, you just need to know that. Okay, let's see what else. So you need to know that. You need to know what the SSID is, what is radio frequency, encryption, what does the encryption look like, explain virtualization fundamentals. What is a virtual machine, guys? What is it? Again, it's just very fundamental. You don't need to know everything about it. You just need to know what it is, and like how would you, not how would you install it, but like when I say how would you install it, I mean like, okay, so it's gonna be on a server, right? Okay, so how is that this VMware? I don't wanna confuse you guys, because right now I'm studying for my other certification. And I'm studying about virtualization, so I don't want to confuse you guys, but basically just what a virtual machine is, or like what operating system do you have to have here in order for you to install these different applications. Okay, Let's see what else, but not really that much, just very fundamental stuff. This thing 100% for sure. Okay, and this is Mac learning and aging, frame switching, frame flooding, and Mac address table. What does it look like? Frame flooding. What does that mean? Frame floating. Okay, that's usually when you have a broadcast. Frame switching. Okay, so basically, how does the Mac address table learn what the MAC addresses of all the other devices are, of the other devices? Okay. MAC learning and aging. Okay, so how long does the MAC address live in the MAC address table? Okay, because say for example you have computers on the network that are not talking to each other anymore, so why waste physical resources on the switch? And it's not like you're wasting a lot, but imagine you have like 100 computers. You don't really need to have those MAC addresses stored in the MAC address table because the computers are not there anymore. Say, for example, your company just got rid of those computers, and now you have to, let's say they got rid of 50 of them, okay? So, or you're just changing some security features on the switch. I don't want to go too much in detail, but yeah, just know this process, okay? So very important, okay? Moving on, network address. I think I'm taking too much time, but because we're 16 already. Let me go a little bit faster. Okay. Verify VLANs. So yeah, you need to know VLANs for sure. 100%. You need to know how to configure them. You need to know what a default VLAN is. You need to know trunk ports, VLAN, 100%. Let's see what else. Yes, you need to know CDP and LLDP. Configure. Yes, you need to know these things 100%. 100%, guys. Yes, you can see that. 100%. Wireless architectures and AP modes. Yeah, you need to know what the AP modes are. Describe physical infrastructure connections. Will see. Lag. Yeah, you just need to know the fundamentals. Describe. Yes, you need to know all of these. So see, when I was telling you guys TCP and UDP, this is where you will place these protocols. Okay, which one is TCP? Which one is SSH? Which one is HTTP? And so on. You need to know what is TAGX, what is radius. Okay, so let's see, moving. Where's that? Oh, I forgot this. Configure components. GUI. Yeah, again, just the GUI. What does it look like? You need to know that. Not too hard. Now routing, man, you need to be an expert on routing. Okay. You need to know all of these things, what they are, and so on. Okay. How a router makes a forward decision by default. Longest match. Yes, you need to know what a longest match. Administrative distance. So you know you have your AD. Yes. Protocol metrics. You have your metrics too. For all the protocols, you know, for OSPF, for RIP, for BGP, for EIGRP. You know, you need to know the metrics, the ADs for each one of them. Okay. Moving on. Okay, so here we go. Default routes. Yes, you need to know how to configure. Whenever you see configure, it's that you actually need to know how to configure. So you need to do your labs on it. Okay. OSPF. Yes, you need to know OSPF 100%. So pretty much everything that it's in this this section. IP connectivity, you need to know all of this, you know, network adjacencies, yes, all of it. Okay. IP services, NAT, you need to know how to configure NAT. Okay. Configure and verify NTP. Yeah, you need to know NTP 100%. Yes, you need to know this. Explain the function of SNMP. You need to know this. This not too much. No, you don't really need to know, just fundamental. I'm just gonna put an F here, okay, for fundamentals. Yes, you need to know what this is. Per hub fundamentals. Configure. Yes, you need to know how to configure SSH. How do you configure SSH? Oh, I'm sorry, you cannot see. How do you configure SSH? And you know SSH is configured on your switches. Okay. Describe the capabilities and function of. Yes, you need to know what the difference of these two are. Okay, one is more secure than the other. Which one is the better? I'll let you find out. Okay. Moving on. Security fundamentals. Vulnerabilities. Yes, you need to do some reading on these. Reading on this. Reading fundamentals for all of these. Yes, fundamentals. This you need to know. Very good. Yes, you need to know, understand these concepts. Just understand what they are. Fundamentals. AAA. What is AAA, guys? Yeah, you need to know how secure these passwords, security protocols are. How secure is WPA, WPA2, WPA3? Which one is more secure than the other? Yes, what is this? Using the GUI. Again, on the, what does the web application look like, right? That's it. Moving on. Programmability. Fundamentals, compare, fundamentals, overlay, underlay. I would take the time to learn this 100%, because if you're gonna go into cloud computing in the future, you definitely need to understand how these virtual components of the networks are communicated with other parts of the network. Okay, you're gonna, yes, you need to know this for sure. Okay, so 100%. Yes, Puppet Chef. You need to know what the code looks like for these languages, programming languages. Interpret, yeah, so the same thing, encoded data. So what does the code look like? All right, and that's it, guys. So let me finish up this video by telling you guys that the test, it will become easy once you understand the topics that you need to focus on the most, and I just showed you guys. Okay, so make sure you're paying close attention to the things that I just told you, and again, what's gonna make it easy for you to understand these topics and be able to remember them is by creating scenarios based on real experiences. Okay. I'm gonna keep making more videos for you guys. I'm sorry I've been out for a little bit. It's just that I've been super busy, but I'll promise I'll get back to it. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can just any questions that you have related to networking in general. Not even just a test. You can just send me a message. I'll link my email in the description if you guys need help, or just comment down below. Like, subscribe, and share this video with people that may find it helpful. Okay, and yeah, so that's it, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.